I can't do the Ray Gelato. No, I can't do it. No, I can't. I'm talking to nobody. Obviously, I'm just pretending. Hi, everybody. Russ Kane. See, look. See, I love this. Look. Me and Ebbs. Me and my little pal. Welcome to what are we? Men's radio station. It's Friday. Don't know how we've mentioned it. I don't even know how we've got there. Oh, good Lord. Look at this. Let's go straight to Spain. Hi, boys. Scary dreaming through... She doesn't talk like that at all. Hi, boys. Scary driving through sandstorm. You are the mummy. Driving through sand. Thank God for washers. Yeah, we've got things called windscreen wipers. It's not too tricky there. Raining. Now washing plants. Car. Sandy beach. Hope you're both okay. Well, there's only me. Flash. Hi, Barry J. Allen. Paul, the lovely Paul Andrews. Happy Friday. All. Chrissy Richards, of course, is in Spain, and she's getting all the what's it from. Oh, here we go. Where's our Phil Dave? Where's Phil? We love Phil. He's gone. As he climbs inexorably up the greasy pole, so far up Rupert Murdoch's posterior, you can only see Phil's little pointy boots. He'll be back in about 3 weeks. He's very, very, very stupid busy at the moment. Seriously, because he is, I hate to say this, that good. He's doing more and more producing, ridiculous amounts of producing over at another tiny radio station, Talk Radio. Good afternoon, Russ, says Ian Foreman. Andy Lucas, we love Andy. Thank you, baked potato. And let's dash across to New York City, Manhattan. Elizabeth Green is there. Fantastic news. Hi, Em. I'm so glad you're back, Emma Webb. That's answered everybody's questions. I think time to bring on my wonderful co-host. She's an OBE. She's charming. She's a fabulous, fabulous hostess, let me tell you. It's only Chantal, Rickards, OBE.
Well, hello. I don't know if I'm a co-host. I think I'm just the stand-in, aren't I?
No, you're not. You're my co-host. That's it. I'm not discussing it. I'm not discussing this any further. You are the co-host. You have been promoted. And look, immediately from Paul Andrews. Hurrah!
Oh, bless him. We love Paul Andrews.
Let's be honest here. Let's just take a rein. Yalda, I can see you. So enjoy our digital green room. Chantal has gone to so much trouble. The salad selection in the digital green room was fabulous. Thank you, Chantal. You didn't need to, but it's very sweet of you. Look, gang, let's be honest. Would you rather look at Chantal or look at Phil Dave driving us mad?
Yeah, but Phil's funnier than me.
Not in real life.
Oh, okay.
No, he is. Oh, good. No, yes, this is. It started. Dave out, Chantal in. I won't mind. That's from Phil Dave's mother, Linda. How bloody worrying is that? Well, let's go back to Spain. Somebody else in Spain, Michael Verby. Good afternoon from a still murky Spain. Sky was orange last night. Stop, take less drugs, you idiot.
Wow.
and today, everything covered in Sahara dust. Sounds like a Ralph Lauren perfume.
I know. Well, my garden is still covered in that red sand from last week.
I've got nothing here. They wouldn't dare because we're near Millwall. You don't take on anyone who's near Millwall. And by the way, we're getting on to this towards the end of the show. Shakespeare and Hathaway. It's adorable. It's an adorable little show. I call it a little show because it's light-hearted and light, and God knows we need that.
Yeah.
Oh, and save all your wonderful comments. Boiling points from Ramsey. We'll talk about all of this later. Time for our first guest before she just disappears because she'll get cross. Because Chantal salads will only go so far. Hello, Yalda. How are you?
Hi, Yalda.
Hi, both of you. How are you? I'm really well, thank you.
Yeah, you look really well. Look at you. God, look at you. Look at Tim. You're like a wandering Timotei advert. Honestly, I swear to God, I expect you to start flicking your hair any second because she's worth it and all that. Shall I just go and let you ladies talk? Now, Yalda, you come with a ridiculous CV. I was reading it all. I sent it across to Chantal, and fabulous. Tell us all about yourself, apart from your fantastic hair. Am I allowed to say that these days? Is that? I don't know what that is. I'm just trying to pay a compliment, and it's like suddenly I'm going to end up on the front page of the Daily Star. But anyway, there we go. So tell us all about yourself.
As you can hear, I'm not from England. I'm half Moroccan.
You're from Birmingham. Sorry.
I wish I could do
Stupid.
that
I've had too much
accent, but I
coffee today.
can't. I'm absolutely rubbish at accents.
Oh,
I'm
where
I'm
you
half
from?
I'm half Moroccan, half Iranian,
Wow.
and
Wonderful.
I was French educated, hence a bit of an accent.
Yeah.
So I did a business school in France, and then realizing that the French were not so good at exporting themselves when it comes to
Well, that's
studies,
because they're
I
French.
decided.
Yeah,
I mean,
leave it there,
have.
shall we?
I mean, they have an amazing education system, but they're not very good at marketing themselves. So I decided to come and do a master's here. I went to LSE. I studied accounting and
So did I.
finance.
So did I.
Oh, did you
Yeah.
do? What?
London School of Economics and Political Science. Yes.
What did you read?
Law.
Okay.
End of.
Yeah. So
I hated
so
it.
I would.
Hated it.
So I did just 1 year because I did postgrad there, and then I worked on a trading floor until I had my children, and
Amazing.
that was really fun. You know, pre-08, that
What,
was really
having
fun.
children?
No,
It's never
yeah,
fun. It's bloody awful.
no, that was before the kids. And then when I had my children, I didn't want to be on the trading floor. I thought that was a very male energy. And
Yeah.
I thought, you know, motherhood is all
Toxic.
about giving, and a trading floor is very much about greed. And that's what makes you successful there.
And
So I thought,
stressful.
yeah, I mean, I could handle the stress, but realistically, the hours would not allow me, because I would be on the floor at 6:30 in the morning, then be back at
Yikes.
home around 6. When do you see your baby? So I stopped working. And unfortunately, I developed some autoimmune diseases.
Oh.
The first one during my first pregnancy, ulcerative colitis. And at the
Ooh.
beginning, it was
God.
mild, but it just got worse and worse and worse. And
Yeah.
then in 2012, after I had my second baby, I had my second baby in 2010. Then in 2012, I developed a very rare blood autoimmune condition called autoimmune hemolytic anemia, where your
Ooh.
body destroys your own red blood cells. To cut a very long story short, I was resistant to medication. Like many people who are very sick, you know, medication doesn't always work. It
Yeah.
kind of keeps you alive, but it doesn't make you feel well. And I was scared for my life, because there was a point where I was being kept alive with blood transfusions. I was looking at these two little boys, thinking, you know, I need to find a way.
Mm.
And I thought, you know what? My doctors are doing their best. They're very good doctors, but at the end of the day, it is their job, and me, it's my life. I
Yeah.
only have one,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna fix it.
Wow.
And I spent
Blimey.
years researching and understanding that my diseases came from chronic inflammation, which is basically the cause of any disease that you cannot catch. All diseases have a link to chronic inflammation. And during the pandemic, we realized that when you have underlying inflammation, your diseases that you can catch, viruses, are more dangerous because you have an impaired immune function. So I
So this is a
discovered
self-generated thing.
chronic inflammation.
Yeah. So I mean,
Or
as you're, I think, explaining that this hasn't come from external forces. Is the body is starting to fight itself.
yeah, just like cancer, heart attacks, diabetes, you know, where they are non-communicable health issues, and they
Yeah.
are all linked to chronic inflammation. Depression is linked to chronic inflammation.
Hang on. Did you
Anything.
just say, Yalda, that depression is linked to that?
Yeah.
Explain a little bit.
Well, depression is an inflammatory disease. When the corpses of people who died with depression, they've analyzed their brains, they have much higher inflammation markers, much more elevated inflammation markers in the brain, which is neuroinflammation, than other subjects.
Good Lord.
So what happens is you carry a gene for autoimmunity, like I did, depression. Let's say in your family there is depression running. If you have inflammation happening in your body, and that can be through diet, stress, So many factors. Even some kind of workouts are inflammatory. But generally, a disease is switched when there are so many factors that contribute. It's not just one. Okay? Then depression starts. And the problem is, people with depression have been shown that 50% of people who have been diagnosed with depression and given antidepressants, 18 months later, report feeling no better than at the start of their journey. And the reason for that is when you have inflammation and neuroinflammation in the case of depression, you can develop medication resistance.
So
Is
it too simple to suggest that one should take an anti-inflammatory for depression, like an ibuprofen, or is that simply, sort of a childish response to what seems like something?
It's not childish. You're right. We need to lower inflammation. Unfortunately, an ibuprofen doesn't do the trick. An ibuprofen can momentarily do that, but it doesn't switch off the inflammatory pathways. The way to do that is to adopt an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. So through my journey, what I've done is I've developed this method, which has healed me and now is healing thousands of people around the world. Then I went and retrained as a nutritional therapist in London. And I now, deepen my research for different conditions, depression being one of my really keen interests. When I was in nutrition school, I wrote a 29-page paper on the causes of depression, and so many studies link it to chronic inflammation. So
why is
I'm
it
so glad.
Yalda, sorry to jump in. Why is it we've never heard this before? I mean, we've had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of guests over the years on men's radio and women's radio. I've never heard this posited ever before.
Nor have I.
And Chantal knows.
First, I want to say thank you for allowing me to raise awareness on this.
Oh, pleasure.
Secondly, there are studies out there, but you know how humans are not very efficient. It always takes us time. So the studies come out. Then you have so many studies linking inflammation to depression and elevated inflammation markers, but that doesn't mean that people have the solution to lower that. And then someone like me is there, and I have this online platform. I have this beautiful lady, Kirsten. Her story was published 2 days ago in the Daily Express. 20 years of depression, finally fixed after being on the lifestyle. And she also lost 4.5 stones. Because obesity is an inflammatory disease.
So tell us, Yalda, about the lifestyle that you're suggesting that one should adopt, because it sounds dramatic. It sounds like clearly it's going to be good for weight loss too, but I'd love to drill down into that a bit more. So
the way I developed it at the beginning was very much for me. Okay. And so I'm someone who loves food. I'm not patient. I was cutting out a lot of things, but I was like, I can't cut out booze because it's just so boring. Okay. I did years of being teetotal, and trust me, I drink in moderation. Okay. 2-3 glasses, but I couldn't be someone who would do anything in extreme. I just wanted to get my life back. So my method, there might be other methods that work, but I'll tell you about my method. My method is about bringing in control over the low-hanging fruit, the easy things. There are many factors around us that might contribute to inflammation. Maybe the quality of water, the quality of air. The chair I'm sitting on, maybe there is a substance that transdermal through my skin is giving me some kind of chemicals, triggering an immune response, which then can lead to chronic inflammation. So I thought, what can we control? We can control food most of the time. We can control the way we think if we want to through mental wellness, and we can control the way we move. So my method is very much 80-20. I'm reading the comments about psoriasis and depression.
There's loads of comments there.
I'll come
coming
back to that in a minute.
I don't want you to disappear behind the words. And they're coming in from the New York State as well, and everywhere. Anyway, right, 80-20.
So the method is very much about when you're on your desk at work or it's kind of boring, just stick to anti-inflammatory foods, okay? When you're going out with friends, there is a treat system. So my method is a traffic light system with very flexible food lists. So I'm not telling you have to eat here, this and that. It's a lifestyle. And there are times where it's going to be 70-30, okay? It's fine. Then you can come back to it. But food is not enough. Food is not enough.
Before you go on, Yalda, a couple of things. At your desk. I stopped sitting at a desk. And thanks to my dear pal Larry Viner, I've got a most fantastic stand-up desk, which I thought would be a load of nonsense. I never sit.
Yeah.
I only sit at night. I stand up the whole time. The improvement to my posture and all my back pain is quite extraordinary.
That's
Quite
fantastic.
extraordinary. Yeah,
I
I've
didn't
done this for a
realise
few
that,
months.
Russ. I'm delighted for you.
Yeah, I've done this for a few months now. So
Yeah, no, I
I'm-
realised that you were standing up, but I didn't
Yeah.
realise the results were so marked.
Oh no, it's amazing. It's amazing. My back
Ross,
pain has
is
just
your
gone.
digestive system better as well?
My digestive system's rubbish. It is so rubbish. Now, what I was going to ask you is, you said don't eat non-inflammatory foods. Like what? Give us
Like what?
some
Exactly.
help here.
So, for example, let's say you work in central London, you're in an office, and you go out for lunch. You go to M&S and you grab a sandwich and a pack of crisps.
For £27, right?
Yes, and
Yeah,
a
packet of
water,
crisps,
okay?
£5. Yeah.
And then maybe a latte afterwards.
Mhm.
So my suggestion would be scrap that, save wheat, milk for good occasions, grab a salad, grab a niçoise salad. You're going to have so many micronutrients in that salad. The problem with people these days is they're overfed but undernourished. So forget about the calories.
Overfed. Oh, we like that. Don't rush past that. We love these little bon mots. You know, I slipped in the French there. It's almost like being in an episode of Death in Paradise. So, what is it? What? Give us that little phrase again. It was good. We like that.
These days we are overfed
but undernourished.
Yeah,
very good.
I
Very
agree.
good.
So we get a lot of macronutrients. We get a lot of carbs, a lot of fats, a lot of protein, but we're not getting all the minerals and vitamins that are essential for the functioning of our bodies, of our brains, and that's what keeps us going. And when we are nourished, we are less hungry because the body knows. The body has all its vitamins, all the minerals. You feel full. When you go for that sandwich and those crisps, as well as a latte, let's say, or some pudding for, something dairy-based for pudding, you're not only having probably things that you've already had so much of. The problem is these days people do too much, okay? I'll give you an example. In the old days in England, people had a full English breakfast, which is protein and vegetables, and a cup of tea with a splash of milk. Then all these cafes open all around London. They walk by Pret, they grab a latte and a chocolate croissant. They're suddenly having a pint of milk.
Oh, God.
And they're having all these wheat from breakfast. Then lunch, they're having a sandwich. In the evening, they go to Pizza Express and then they get the dough balls as well. Wheat today has 3 times as much gluten as 50 years ago because of the way we have.
Is that the
way we select the
modification?
crops?
The modification of the crops in order to feed everybody?
Wow.
Yeah, because it's yummier when it's elastic and chewy, but that literally sticks your insides. We're having too much of it.
So here's me. Let me run this by you. My breakfast is a banana with a bit of peanut butter on it and about 3 espressos. That's it. No, that's it. That's my breakfast every day. I don't. That's it. I have banana with peanut butter on it and espresso. That's it.
Okay, so you know what? Coffee is actually good for you.
Oh,
coffee
thank
is
God.
packed.
Thank God.
Coffee
That's
is
great
packed
news.
with antioxidants. I posted something yesterday on my Instagram. You can check. It's my last post about the benefits of coffee. Now, 8% of the population is intolerant to it, and they can't. They don't feel good on it. But most people, it gives you focus, mental clarity. It helps burn fat. It's full of antioxidants. But 3 espresso might be a bit too much, Russ.
But it does stop me from just going out and punching the first person I see in the face. That's why I have to have it. Otherwise,
do you
I
drink
don't.
any more coffee during the day?
I don't go
Do you
crazy.
drink-
I don't go crazy. It depends how I'm feeling, but I do have to kickstart my morning. Otherwise, if you think I'm stupid now, meet me without espressos. God almighty. So I have to have those to kickstart my day. And then during the rest of the day, maybe I'll have another couple. That's it. But I don't snack.
That's very good that you're not snacking, and it's very good that you're standing, because as you've noticed, all your core muscles are being activated. And the reason why I asked you about your digestive system is the vagus nerve links the spine to the gastrointestinal tract. So oftentimes, if you have digestive problems, you'll feel back pain and vice versa. So it's very important to have a strong core to have a good digestion. And 70% of your immune system cells sit in your digestive system. So for strong immunity and low inflammation, it is very important to have good gut health.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the link. I was waiting to find out where the link was going to be across the piece. I just wanted to mention that a few years ago, actually about 20 years ago, I commissioned 3 television series of something called The Spa of Embarrassing Illnesses. And we took 10 British people on 3 different trips over 3 years to a place where we created a sort of holistic living centre. But a lot of it was frameworked, if you like, by a nutritionist. And we saw remarkable differences in things even like psoriasis and irritable bowel syndrome and sleeping, which actually helped people as well in terms of their mental clarity and their ability to feel happier about life. And I'm wondering whether it's the resolution of a physical problem that makes you feel better and makes you feel less sad and depressed, or whether it's actually a physical reaction in terms of reducing the levels of the inflammatory system that makes you feel better.
I love that you're raising this. So first, IBS, psoriasis, all the conditions you have mentioned are linked to inflammation. I got amazing results on all these things because, psoriasis is an autoimmune disease, very similar to what I have.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, when you have one autoimmune disease, you can have a collection of them. I had 2, but I know people have so many because once the inflammatory pathways are, and most of these people generally have digestive system issues, IBS being a sign that you might have chronic inflammation. But to answer your question, the link goes both ways. We produce 60% of our neurotransmitters in the gut. The neurotransmitters are serotonin, the happy hormone, melatonin, the sleep hormone. We've just spoken about sleep. GABA, the reward hormone.
No, I don't. No, I know the others, but Chantal and I never heard of GABA.
I don't think I've got that one.
I think it was a song in the 70s by the Ramones, but apart from that, I don't know it. Hey GABA, GABA, hey GABA. Go
on. So all these are produced in the gut. Okay. So when our digestive system is impaired, when the food we eat are not good, we're not producing all these neurotransmitters. As a result, we're not feeling as good in here. But there's a very strong link between here and here. So there are studies showing, for example, that a gratitude prayer instantly improves your gut bacteria. So the brain-gut connection goes both ways. That's why I'll give you an example. Let's say before an exam, you might have tummy ache, or you might need to go to the bathroom. Yeah. That's how strongly the tummy and the brain are linked.
So when they say you got we would say you got butterflies, or your stomach's churning with nerves. Is that you're saying that's what it is?
That's exactly what it is. And in children, it's even more. 80% of the neurotransmitters in a child are produced in the gut. And oftentimes, children express stress through digestive issues even more than adults. I have a friend of mine whose son was, he had a bit of school anxiety, and the school anxiety got under control, but suddenly he would wake up every night in the middle of the night throwing up. She rings me. She goes, Yalda, please help me. What do you think? I said, well, first thing first, you're going to go and take him to the doctor because we want to rule out any sinister scenario. That's the first thing. Safety. Go to a doctor, ensure there's nothing bad. Okay. And then secondly, I said to her, I don't think it's a food intolerance because I know her child well. And I said, I don't think it's that, because if it's a food intolerance, there wouldn't be like this projectile type vomiting every night like that, and you're feeding him different things. I said, it might be stress, just watch. To cut a long story short, after 2 weeks, an investigation with the doctors, that's what they concluded. And then they adjusted a few things with school, and his stress got under control and no more vomiting.
We've got so many questions. I'm gonna pile in, and from all over the world. This is coming in from New York State, from Azedan Brown. Hey, good to see you without your Stetson, by the way. I have had an autoimmune issue since a very young age. It's had a profound effect upon my life. There are many therapeutic tools that are very effective for those suffering from such issues. That's that. Now, what do we got? Here we go. Wait, don't go away. Don't go away. Don't go away. God forbid. What about, here we go. Coming in from Manhattan. This is in New York City. What do you think about mercury fillings?
I
have no idea what the hell that is.
Mercury fillings? In the teeth.
Because she's saying in my teeth.
Yeah, Elizabeth, try and get them removed. And also, mercury, lead, all these heavy metals, which can bring heavy metal toxicity with a lot of consequences, like things like depression, low energy. The way to also detoxify from that is to have food that bind to those molecules. So seaweed is very good, parsley, coriander. There are many foods with chelating property or chelating property. CHELATING. Chelating.
No idea. Chantal and I are completely in the dark here. I'm looking at her. She's looking at me. We're going, I have no idea.
So you see, this gives you an example of when you eat a varied diet with lots of vegetables, you are. It's not just, it's lower calories, and less fat and maybe less sweet. It's the benefit. You're getting vitamin C, you're getting rid of heavy metal toxicity, you're getting all these things. So my method is very much about nourishing, not depriving.
Okay, right. This one in from E Phantom. What does Yalda think about marine collagen supplements?
This is a great question. Very good question. So a lot of people, because of the diets we have these days, tend to lose the mucus layer along the gastrointestinal tract. Basically, gut health is poor, they can lose the mucus layer. Then you have little particles of food that go in the system, and there's an immune response from the body. And that's why some people think they're intolerant to some foods, because they react, or it shows in an intolerance test. The problem is not the food, is the fact that the gut has become porous. And one of the ways of strengthening it and strengthen the gut lining is taking collagen, because it is packed in glutamine, which is an amino acid that helps repair soft tissues as well as the gut wall, the gut lining.
Can you just get that online? I have no idea. You go down to the seaside. I mean, how does it work? Just get it online?
You can get also, or you can buy beef. I use grass-fed beef collagen powder. And sometimes when I feel like I've overindulged, or I'll mix it in my soups or in a juice, in something. But you just need to make sure to drink a lot of water, because you know how collagen, like in your skin, it keeps it plump because it draws water.
I was going to say, is this the same collagen that women of my age are being persuaded to?
35.
Yes,
35.
And it's great for the skin as well, because it helps with all the soft tissues. But
And if you're wondering when you're watching this, if it's all working for Yalda, it's amazing. I can reveal this. Yalda is 76 years old. So I think it's going in there now. Understand that. What do we got here? We got this as well, David Green. Understanding that the stomach is our second brain has been invaluable in recovery. And also, this links to the show that I do on a Thursday night with the lovely Ollie Mammon. Daily CBD can be excellent as a digestive anti-inflammatory. Do you have any views on that? CBD oils and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Or if you don't worry. Don't
I'm not
get
so
dragged into it. It's
keen
a whole
for now.
different. Okay, we will leave that. Now here we go. What do we got? What do we got going here? Good. Regarding to the collagen, good. Been taking it for 3 months. We'll send you the link, Russ.
Brilliant.
It's a bit worrying. Have improved my skin, hair, and nails too. Okay. Well, then it worked. See, I've got one more question because I can see our next guest is already lined up. Is this? When I was growing up, nobody had allergies to anything, right? And suddenly everybody is like, oh, I can't eat peanuts. I'll drop dead.
Yeah.
I can't do that. And it's like, where did this come from? How can we survive for tens of thousands of years and suddenly everyone's allergic to like everything?
A very short answer to this.
Okay.
You're 100% right. We are not a nation or a generation of hypochondriacs. I asked myself this question many times. My grandparents could eat this. Why can't I? Why can't I?
Yeah.
It's because about 100 years ago, refrigeration happened. When that happened, we stopped doing preserves. There was less bacteria in the kitchens. So, all the preserves and jars, it's full of little bacteria, lots of good things for the gut. So as our world has become cleaner, our gut diversity has become poorer. On top of that, processed foods are packed with preservatives. Preservatives wipe out, they kill bacteria. So for example, if you eat McDonald's, you're not only getting very few micronutrients, poor macronutrients, but also you're wiping out gut bacteria because of all the chemicals in it. And that has made us weaker to so many foods, basically. And the food also has changed around us.
That's fascinating.
But that's a whole other debate. That's not.
So I don't eat processed foods because I just don't like it. I'm not trying to take some sort of moral stance. I can't even say it's an intellectual decision. I just don't like it. It just doesn't taste good to me.
You're right.
I mean, certainly my personal experience reinforces that. My father was a pathologist, and as children, we were never told to wash our hands. In fact, it was completely the opposite. He said that if we were out in the garden, we should be getting dirty. We should be picking up things. We should be, eating stuff that wasn't overly produced or processed. So that reinforces exactly what you're saying. He said that the bacteria was good for us.
I do the same with my kids. If they drop food on the floor, I said to them, unless we're in the streets of India or Morocco, you're eating it.
Blimey. What happened to the 5-second rule? I do the 5-second rule. Well, I don't need to because I've got a mini schnauzer. So anything I drop, boom, bloody Dyson vacuum cleaner, boom, it's gone. So I don't have to worry about that too much. Fantastic. Our next guest has decided to depart. Who knows? I don't know. Mystery. So how are you for time? Or have you got to go? You're okay? Come in, everybody, with your questions, because we've got some. Luckily, and to our delight, we've got some extra time. So this is great. Which one are you? Could you put the link up? That is presumably for the collagen. So I'm sure that maybe Eve Phantom, you could put up some sort of, just put it as a comment. That would be great. How do people find out more about you? Am I allowed to say that? I'm just saying it properly. All right. No comments. Stop. How do people find out more about you?
About me?
Well, how do they reach you if they want you to consult you?
There's a website called Eat, Burn, Sleep. Or they can find me on Instagram at Eat, Burn, Sleep. And there are so many videos. If you enjoyed what I've spoken about today, go on my website, eatburnsleep.com, and go down a rabbit hole of watching all the videos that help. It's going to keep you busy for a while.
Wow. Eatburnsleep.com.
Just talk to us a little bit about sleep, because we haven't really talked about how eating particular things can help us with our sleep, or what we should eat or avoid to help us
So
sleep?
sleep, super, super important. 100 years ago, up to the invention of the light bulb, we slept on average about 9 hours a night. Now it's 8 hours. We sleep less.
Okay.
During
5 to 6 if I'm really lucky.
Okay, please, Russ, you must sleep more. Because with less sleep, there's higher chances of dementia, higher chances of many diseases. All our cells renew during sleep. During sleep, our hunger hormones, ghrelin and leptin, are regulated. I don't know if you notice days where you don't sleep as much, you tend to eat more. When we sleep less, we also have less stable blood sugar levels, hence more cravings and more chances of diabetes. During sleep, we produce human growth hormone, which is the hormone for youth, for staying young, and for losing fat. I'm going to give you a few hacks to improve your sleep.
Okay.
The usual. Stay away from screens an hour before bed.
Well, I've fallen at the first fence.
Yeah, me too.
I'm done.
I take my iPad to bed.
That's just not going to happen.
The problem is that blue light disrupts the circadian rhythm.
But
Another one that you might be able
Yalda,
to do.
I'll be honest with you, I'm very aware of it, which is why everything I wear has blue light filters.
Okay, good. Well,
Everything.
you're limiting the damage. That's great. You're aware of it.
Oh, yeah.
The second thing you can do is in the first hour of waking, try and get some natural light for 20 minutes. That sets your circadian rhythm. It pumps up your cortisol levels in the morning, so they drop as they should in the evening. Because you have the cortisol comes up and then goes down.
Could you run that by us again about the light? Sorry, I wasn't.
So we have something called the circadian rhythm, okay?
Yep,
and that's what regulates sleep. It's really important to set it. A few things to help set it is eat your meals every day at the same time. Try and go to bed every night at the same time. And basically be put on a routine just like a baby. And when you wake up in the morning, what happens in the morning when we wake up is our cortisol levels go up. That's the stress hormone, but that's also that's good cortisol in the morning. Is the action hormone. It springs you into action. And to help that hormone be released as it should early in the morning rather than later and then stopping you from sleeping well at night, is to go and get some natural light in your eyes for about 20 minutes in the first hour of waking. Because it sends a signal to your body saying, hey, it's daytime. And then 12 hours later, the body will know it's nighttime. So you will fall asleep better.
All right, question coming. Interesting. I've just been to had my eyes tested this week, and they said you've got to wear dark glasses much more. I'm not going to say more about that, but that didn't cheer me up too much this week. Coming in from Spain, would Yalda advocate giving up alcohol entirely? Michael, are you mad? I've known him since he was a baby. Would Yalda advocate giving up alcohol entirely? You've never been to one of Chantal's dinner parties, have you? Or okay in moderation? God's sake,
Michael, I would
with
only
a French accent. What do you think the answer is going to be, Michael? Jesus. God damn.
On my method, there's a treat system. And the treats are actually, I'm trying to convey to my subscribers that they're not treats. I want them to enjoy them. The reason why I allow them, and that, depending on your culture, it can be alcohol, or other cultures, it'll be certain foods, but it's things that get people together, because social interactions have been shown to be the number one factor for longevity.
Social interaction.
There's a study called the Blue Zones, which has been conducted over decades, and it shows that in Okinawa in Japan, in Sardinia in Italy, in all these little pockets of longevity in the world, they all have different diets, they all live different things, lifestyles, but the one thing they have in common is those old people are still socially active.
Wow.
They are part of society. So when So we noticed that during lockdown, our mental and physical health went down because we
Went down
didn't
the
see
toilet.
people.
Let's not beat around the bush here. It was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to answer Michael's question, if you
Mm.
decide to go teetotal and that stops you from having social interactions, not good. I would much rather you had alcohol in moderation, and also wine has antioxidants, can help with circulation. They are, it's all about moderation. And my method is very much teaching people that, but with a clear roadmap of how to do it and science backing up everything that I put forward.
Fantastic.
It is interesting because you've said stuff I don't think we have heard before. I said this at the front end of our conversation, but it's true. I mean, we've had hundreds and hundreds of guests, and they've kind of skirted around some of these issues, but you've said it with great clarity. See, Paul Andrews is saying to Michael, Paul Andrews in the UK is saying to Michael out in Spain, give it up, Michael, you won't miss it after a month, and it's so good for your sleep. I like to drink, but I do drink in moderation. Chantal knows, she's known me forever. I drink in moderation because I'm just not a big drinker, not from a moral viewpoint. I have a very low capacity. And then I just have to stop drinking. That's it. I can't bang it back. That's it. Now, here we go. This is a question coming in for you. Thank you for answering everybody's questions. Andrea Lucas. Hi, Andy, again. What happens if you have to get up before daylight? Fine in the summer, not in the winter.
Yeah, good question.
So, Andrea, that's such a good question. If you wake up before the daylight, your circadian rhythm will kick in anyway when the daylight comes on. But I've noticed with myself that during the winter, I struggle much more. Sometimes around 5 o'clock, I start getting sleepy because it goes dark outside.
Oh, I have to sleep every day at 5.
Yeah.
Every day.
You see? You see?
5 o'clock. No, 5 to 7. 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock is my worst time. Absolutely like a zombie.
But
and then I'm fine again.
historically, I was so interested in sleep because I wanted to understand. There was a period of my life where I would wake up around 3 o'clock in the morning and I was full of energy until 5. So I did a bit of research because I've got this geeky side to me. And before electricity, people didn't sleep in one stretch at night.
Mhm.
They went to bed around 7, then they woke up around 3 o'clock in the morning, that the time where I would wake up, and that was the time to write letters and reflect. So people would write their letters in the middle of the night, and then they would go back to bed.
Wow.
It is only since the invention of electricity that we go to bed later, and hence we sleep 8-9 hours in one go, or 5-6 for us.
Shall I tell you a fascinating fact that you won't know? I guarantee you, it's got nothing to do with this conversation about electricity and light bulbs, right? In America, in a fire station, they have the same light bulb, and it's been on the whole time since 1901. 1901, the same light bulb, it's never been changed. Do you know why that is? Because the American light bulb manufacturers all got together and put in faults. So you had to rebuy your light bulbs. Since 1900,
Wow.
light bulbs were actually for life. And it's only
Wow.
through manufacturing that you got built-in obsolescence. Look at your iPhones, everybody. See any link there? Right, next question coming up from Ramsey. But it's true though, isn't it? That's how they get us. You could buy one light bulb, it would last forever, as in the American fire.
Amazing. I didn't know that.
It's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. It was a conglomeration and they all agreed to put a fault into it. Is fermented food and pickles good for the gut, says Ramsey?
So with everything, it's about the small print. So it is good when it's raw. It's good when there is not too much sugar. The thing these days is the misinformation all the time about food in supermarkets, and it's even worse in the States. So it's very important. That's why with my platform, what I try and do is educate people, because I can't give them big answer. It's really about the small print. I'll give you an example. Bread. Supermarket bread, not many benefits. Sourdough bread, health benefits. It's all about, it's not about you can have wheat or you can't have wheat. It's about what's in it. It's about the small print. And the more we go, the more there is an it's urgent that people educate themselves. You can't outsource. You can't. I always say this. You can't fully outsource health. A doctor can't sleep for you. A nutritionist cannot pick the foods for you. You've got to become astute.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Very good advice.
Last question, because then we've got to go on to our film and TV. From Mary G. Williams, always thinks a rap singer. It's not, but I always think it is. Alcohol in the evening helps me sleep much more soundly. What's your views on that?
Well, Mary, when people drink, it's been shown that they fall asleep better, but they can wake up, more chances of waking up in the middle of the night or earlier in the morning. So what I've noticed is if I'm going to drink, I try and finish earlier before bed and drink a lot of water to flush it out, so it doesn't impact my sleep negatively.
I do that. I do that, but I don't go crazy. I don't go crazy. Yalda, we must let you go. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Will you come back and see us? Thank God Phil Dave wasn't here.
Anytime. Thank you so much.
It's been so interesting.
It's terrific, and record numbers of people watching. Can't imagine why. Okay, thank you so much, Yalda.
Thanks, Yalda.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Wowza.
That was incredible.
Just fantastic.
I know.
Just
And I
fantastic.
thought I knew quite...
I never know what I'm going to get. I never know what I'm going to get when various guests are suggested, and I say no more than I say yes. By the way, because I think hopefully I know what our gang like and what our gang would resonate with and find interesting.
Yeah.
Here we go, and Kimmy sums it up beautifully. Hi, Kimmy Lashmar. She was fascinating and informative, I should say. I should say. Right.
And
let's get on to your area. Another of your areas of expertise, which is your. I should have a little jingle. I haven't got the machinery to do it. What's come across your purview?
Oh. Well, I tell you what's on Netflix this week that I haven't talked about up until now because it was in the cinema last year. Very few people saw it. It's a small, low-budget British movie, but was nominated for Outstanding British Movie at the BAFTAs. It didn't actually win. Belfast won that. But it is tantamount to this glorious piece of work that sort of came from nowhere called Boiling Point. It's absolutely
the kitchen thing, the cooking, the sort of Ramsay, the Gordon Ramsay, I would call it, but probably isn't.
It's a terrific film. It's now on Netflix, so that you can see it, enjoy it, rewatch it. It was all shot in one take.
What?
So the camera rolled all the way through.
Are you serious?
No stops and starts. Normally I hate that stuff because I think that people are doing it for effect, and it sort of irritates me that the director wants to make you think that they're terribly clever.
Clever, aren't I? Clever. Look at me. I went to film school.
But this actually, you forget that it's done in one take. But
so 90 minutes, one take.
90 minutes.
Jeez.
They did it, apparently when they were filming it, they did it 3 times. And then the film was made. I mean, extraordinary and clearly low budget, because actually all you're having to do is shoot something 3 times by 90 minutes instead of weeks and weeks and weeks on end of shooting cutaways and the shot of this and the shot of that. But it absolutely works a treat. It builds the tension about this chaotic chef played by Stephen Graham. He's got his small kitchen crew around him. There's a sort of fairly nasty-ish, smarmy character who comes in, who's a restaurant critic, who's actually got money in the restaurant too. Everything starts to fall apart. Stephen, in fact, the Stephen character drinks too much. He's a chef under pressure. And you feel that, clearly Boiling Point is absolutely the right name for the film, because you totally get carried away in this story. It's incredibly well made. It absolutely deserves to have been nominated for Outstanding British Film, produced by a lovely woman called Hester Ruoff, who I know personally, and this is her first big movie. And I'm sure that it's going to go on and do great things. But everybody should watch it. It's many
things that come out of what you just said. Number one, Stephen Graham. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He's a very good friend of Colin Vane's, who's 1/3 of the Secret Saturday Cigar Tree. And I thought Stephen Graham, because I saw him, and of course he was in Colin's film, Film Stars Don't Die in Liverpool. Is that right?
Oh.
That one. He was in.
I'd forgotten that.
Yeah, he was in that. That was just Colin's film. So I thought he was, like an idiot that I am, which you know by now. I thought he was American because, of course, he was in oh God,
He was in The Irishman.
The Irishman. That
Yeah.
fantastic scene, and I thought, oh, he's American. Who is this actor? I forgot it was Stephen Graham. That's number one. Number two is those one-shot films, 1917, which I really didn't like. I know, I'm just me.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought it was as dull as
No,
hell.
I didn't like it either.
I thought it was really, really boring. We're just trying to
Yeah.
be clever for the clever sake. That drove me up the pole. But the one-take opening shot in Goodfellas when he goes to the nightclub in New York, oh my God, I loved that. I thought it was just marvelous. Marvelous. Anyway, there we are. Boiling Point on Netflix. Thumbs up all around.
Brilliant. It's really worth watching, and doesn't feel diminished by the fact that you're watching it on a smaller screen. It's not one of those films that demands you to go and see it in a cinema. So it's a really good one. Anyway, something else I thought I should bring to everybody's attention is it's on Sky. It's a thriller. It's a series called De Pass, which translates...
Sorry, you had a stroke there for a second. It's called what?
De
Pass.
Yeah, it translates as Pagan Peak, and it definitely is the very first Austrian TV series I have ever talked about. Austrian writing, other than Kafka, is probably not terribly well known around the world. We don't really admire them for their dramatic storytelling, but actually Der Pass is a very good. It feels rather sort of Nordic noir. It's in the same vein as things like The Bridge, the bridge, and then there was The Tunnel. Those sort of rather interesting films that are high on character, good plots that you probably can't work out, which I think is lovely. Sometimes drama is so easy you just know where the story's going to go. But this is very good. Clearly it's got, the sort of the yin and yang, the crazy two detectives, a lovely young German girl who's sort of flirting with her boss, and a really sort of evil Austrian detective who is flirting with mobsters, flirting with alcohol, and flirting with girls. He's a sort of pretty bad character, but the two of them come to get together to solve the crime around a body that is found on the border between Germany and Austria. And it goes off into storytelling around pagan rituals and pagan religions, and goes down a couple of rabbit holes. But actually, it's rather good. It's called Der Pass. There are 2 series already on Sky. I've only just caught up with it. Haven't got into series 2 yet, but I've rattled through series 1. It's really worth watching. So find it on Sky if you've got Sky. If not, you'll find it, I'm sure, on one of the other delivery services. But that is worth watching.
We should call it Deliver View.
I'll
go 50-50 with you on that one.
Yes,
that's very good. Kimmy, time, it's on Netflix, and so it's any time that you want to watch it. Anytime
there we go. There we go.
Anytime you want to watch it now, well, after the show, watch it this evening, whatever you want to do. Right. I watched. I'd started it 3. I'll be honest with you. I'd started it 3 times. Because I like Ryan Phillips. Is it right? Yeah, Ryan Phillips. I like him. He makes me.
Ryan Phillips, Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Ryan Reynolds. And have I got the right one? Who was in Deadpool?
Ryan Reynolds.
I like him. I like him. So
he makes my heart beat a little bit faster.
Oh, I see how it is.
But if you ever saw him in Proposal with Sandra Bullock, it's a bit of,
oddly enough, not
younger guy. He's definitely easy on the eye for us girls.
Oh, is he? Well, he seems very charming. Anyway, here's the thing, very, very quickly. It's called The Adam Project. It's about time travel, which is always a total nightmare because no one can ever get it right because it's an impossible subject. It was okay. It was a bit like Field of Dreams. That had a whole section that was just lifted out to me, like Field of Dreams when he plays baseball with his dad. Do you remember?
That's right.
Field of Dreams. They obviously cost a fortune. It's on Netflix. If you've got nothing else to do, it's okay.
It's okay. It's a bit Back to the Future-ish. It's not bad. The time travel thing sort of works. I'm not a great fan of sci-fi, but Ryan Reynolds, I think, is a great actor, actually. And it's a really very lightweight film. But Yeah,
Blimey.
it's okay. I enjoyed it.
It's
You know,
a souffle of a film. But I thought
it's
the
a
little kid
souffle.
was good. The little kid was good. Right. Question coming in from Ramsey for you. Chantal, what did you think of the BBC's Cheaters? 18 episodes of 10 minutes. I really enjoyed the story and the novel approach to the mini episodes.
Oh, I haven't seen it. So I will have to have a look and then be able to give you some sort of
Okie
informed
dokie. I didn't
opinion.
even hear of it. I used to like Cheaters when they went after that American series was fantastic. Hey, where are you doing? And the screaming matches in the car parks outside motel. Oh, it was one of my favorite shows. Guilty pleasure. Paul Andrews, if you like the Tinder Swindler, which I'm still recovering from, and the
I
Puppet
loved it.
Master,
Yeah.
God, that
It's
had an effect on me.
terrifying, the Tinder Swindler, but it was a good watch.
And at the end, I was seething. I won't say anymore. Then Bad Vegan. Oh, I saw that come up across my screen last night. Bad Vegan is worth watching. It's bonkers, though.
It is. Well done for picking that one out, Paul, because actually I really enjoyed it. I was going to talk about it next week, but it is worth watching. It's one of those dramatized real life crime stories about basically a woman who gets who runs a vegan restaurant in New York. Everything goes horribly wrong.
It's Elizabeth Green.
Ripped off right royally. Ripped off big
It is
time.
Elizabeth Green.
It's a good story. Again, it's one of those sort of cautionary tales about don't get sucked in by some crazy Svengali figure who is going to change your life not for the better.
I've never been, in all seriousness, just for a bit of mental health thing, I've never done that. You know, Dylan says, don't follow leaders and sonic parking meters. Sorry, can't remember the lyric. And I just don't. I look at these so-called gurus. I think, okay, but I won't like give myself over to it. I've never been able to do that.
Yeah. I mean, it should have been really called Bad Boyfriend, because that's quite simply is the story.
Elizabeth the Green, she says restaurants in New York, of course, which she had. Then we got Puppet Master is really good for anyone who liked Tinder Swindler. There we go.
Indeed.
And Ramsey says, Chantal, you will be hooked. The only problem is after 10 minutes, you want to watch another. By the time I'd done that 18 times, it was 3:27.
Oh my God.
That's when I go to bed.
Okay, that's my viewing this weekend then.
Okay. And it's interesting about restaurants and everything. And Elizabeth just says one word, which kind of sums it up, and she would know because I've never been in that business. Punishing. Yeah. I would imagine it is. Do you ever watch cartoon series? I mean, adult, I don't mean rude. I mean, stuff like Castlevania or stuff like that. Do you ever watch that? You don't like science fiction?
No. My kids watch quite a lot of anime stuff, you know, especially all the stuff coming in from Korea and places like that. But not really my thing.
Okay. If you do like, I don't like anime. I just can't get on with it. But if you do like that, Castlevania, I think there's 3 or 4 series. It's adult, it's grown up, it's really good.
All right.
I don't think it's for you. I mean that seriously. You know, knowing you as I do, I don't think I found it interesting. And also, what's it called? Witch Finder or Witch? Damn it,
Witch Finder, I think is out there at the moment. I haven't seen that, but I've seen it in the listings.
He's good in it, Henry. Yeah. It's Henry Cavill who can kind of do no wrong.
Yeah, and of course it's Oscars weekend. Meant to mention it was Oscars.
Oh yes.
Yep. So I'm going to a party on Sunday night that starts at 11 p.m.
Good Lord. Pajama party.
Yeah, a crazy party in one of the London clubs where they're showing the Oscars live. So I think some alcohol will be consumed on Sunday night. And then kindly the Oscars have invited me to their screening in London on Monday night to join other Oscars members as we watch a recorded version of it.
If you watch it live, it's a serious question as we run up to the end of the show, but is it not, and I'm not being rude, so dull unless you're in the industry?
Well, I don't know. It depends on if you are a fan of movies and a fan of movie stars and you like fabulous clothes and you like...
No, that I get. I just don't want endless speeches from sound blokes and lighting. I mean, it just...
No, well, most of those have been cut out. There's a big fuss about it because actually they're not showing any of that stuff. That's all being pre-recorded and it's
Which, of course, if you're a sound guy, you know, there's no film without the sound or the lighting and all the cinematography and everything. You'd be steamingly angry,
no longer will appear on screen anymore. So there's been a bit of a fuss by all the people in the
in the last 30 seconds, controversy.
Anyway,
goodie bags are worth $205,000 a year. Did you get? Ramsay. Chantal, thank you so much for
Great
co-hosting.
pleasure. Have a cracking
Really
weekend, everyone.
enjoy all your Oscars ballyhoo.
I will.
It'll be lovely. Wear a fabulous frock. We'll be back in one form or another on Monday at 12 noon. Have a lovely weekend, everybody. Take care.
Tremendous.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.